booties for black girl nerds.
Thank you guys for your time.
Yeah, good.
Congratulations on season 3. Very, very exciting times.
Thank you.
John, beginning with you, as we watch Jack's relationship deepen with working into the field, will a time come, or does a time come where that line of gray of working for the greater good becomes even more blurred?
100%, and I think this is the exact season that it happens. And I think you've pointed out something really interesting, and my favorite part about playing the character is in season 1, Wendell's character used to call him a Boy Scout. He saw everything in black and white, and that there was only right and wrong, and he didn't understand why it wasn't easier for people to make the right decision. In season 2, he very clearly showed me that the world operates in a gray area and that there are complicated decisions to be made. And so by season 3, armed with that information and with that new outlook on his life, he has to double and triple down on an instinct that he has that he thinks will save a lot of people, even if it means going against his own agency. So this season is exactly what you said. I think him deciding to operate in this gray area becomes much less gray and much more dark, because he has to do it on his own and he has to trust himself even when he can't trust anybody else.
Mm-hmm. Wendell, for you, for James, all 3 of you place like a different part in the espionage food chain. Wendell, for you, as someone who's career long, seen a lot of things, done a lot of things, is it possible to reinvent who James is for this season? Because everyone is making comments, hey, this is different, as people will see when they watch the first couple of episodes, some changes. So is it possible to even reinvent when you've invested so much of your career into one place, one agency?
Yes, because the reinvention is a reminder, a refreshing of the commitment that James has made to himself, to the agency, because he's moving up in the agency. And then also a commitment to those who have been there for me in the past, especially Jack Ryan, someone who literally saved my life the last time you saw him. So I'm willing to go out on the limb for him, to back him up as he goes through that gray area, understanding that I was the one that showed him. There will be times where you have moral ambiguity and you will have to trust your moral compass to work through it and get to a place where you decide what your values are. It defines what your values are in that situation, and then to act on them. And for that trust is not going to be broken because others within the agency may not agree. And I am willing to go out on a limb with him because because of the trust that we built. And the thing that I love about this season, and you said it this whole morning, we've been doing the press, and you said the word that I've been always going back to: espionage. Espionage. I love the combination of the espionage along with the action. You see the craft work. It's one of the things that, doing the research for this show, makes it so interesting. I literally have a relationship with my consultant, who is very much like James Greer. He's retired now, but he's very much like James Greer. So he really has opened my eyes to the human element of it. He's a student of human behavior, and that's the thing that I love about the development of James this season in particular.
Mm-hmm. And Michael, lastly, for you with Mike, he's in an area where there are different types of restrictions, different types of rules. Do you personally think that it's easier to navigate this world when you have more rules or less rules? Because when you have more rules, you kind of know where to go and who the players are, but with less, you have to fend for yourself.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's pretty interesting. I don't think Mike has a lot of rules on him anymore, owning his own company. Doing his own thing. And I think that made for, he had a freedom to do, he knew that if Jack Ryan called him, there was a damn good reason he called him. And so he can do whatever he wants to help that situation. So I found, or for me to think about it, he has a certain freedom to do whatever he wants.
Mhm. Well, I thank you guys. I loved it. You know, I was on the edge of my seat, leaning in, trying to figure out like a good little
Thank
spy
you very
drama.
much.
So I thank you so much and have a great season.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you, ladies, for your time. I appreciate it very, very much. Looking very leadership as you do on the show. When I was thinking about the two of you being paired, I thought about different leadership styles, leading a country and a group of people, congregants, versus leading a workplace, people who are there for a salary, etc. So Betty, beginning with you, what would you say is the biggest difference between those types of leadership, and how is Elizabeth deepening her relationship with these people that she leads at the agency?
Yes, I think what's sort of different is that there's the political aspect to what President Kovac is and what she's doing. I don't have to particularly worry about politics and that, but I do feel like there is a need to perform and to perform well. I think because this organization is predominantly male, predominantly white, she's a bit of a unicorn, and she's not necessarily always going to be given the benefit of the doubt, and she's very much under a different radar, even if it's on a subconscious level. So she has to do her job well, and she has to make sure that the people around her are doing their job well, and she doesn't have the luxury of giving them the benefit of the doubt either. But because I think of who she is as a woman, as a Black woman, she does allow for a space of collaboration and, dare I say, trust. I think she's very reluctant to trust people, but she's kind of pushed into a space where she has to.
Nina, over for you for Kovac and leading people. Do you think it's easier to lead people when you have less parameters or more parameters? Because in this case, she doesn't have the politics, but she has to work for the greatest good of the most people.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't quite understand the question. What do you mean with the parameters?
Like for Betty's character, she works for an agency and her law is almost like absolute. And in your case, when you work with people, you have to work for the most good for the most people. She doesn't have
I
that
see.
restriction.
Gotcha,
So
gotcha.
do you think it's easier or more challenging when you have more or less restrictions to lead, or your character's leadership?
I don't know, but I think, the difference in politics, I guess the biggest difference is that you need to be elected. Someone needs to elect you. So to put you into this position of becoming the leader of a country, first of all, you need a lot of good collaborators, and you have people who run your campaign, who put you in this position. And I was thinking about that, actually. It's so interesting how on that way, what gets you there, you have to be very careful who then becomes your actual team, and that you don't make yourself too dependent on anyone who has put you or helped you to get to this position. That's one thing. And then the next thing is that with every decision that you make, you have to know that everyone's watching you and potential voters are watching you. And so it's a very difficult, fine line to lead. And I had the feeling, and that's what I loved about Alena and the way she was written, that she sticks very truthful to herself and to her gut feeling. I think she's a very good politician because she has great instincts. And she doesn't let herself get weird off from hardly anything. I mean, the worst gets thrown towards her, and she kind of sticks to her guns, and kind of listens, goes inward and thinks, okay, I am here to serve my people, and that's my only purpose. And she's very impressive to me, the way she was written, and I'm like, woo, I want to meet that woman.
For sure. You
Great
both are
politician.
very impressive, and indeed. Thank you so much for your time. Have a wonderful third season. I really enjoyed it, and I thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take care.
Better shake your booties for black girl nerves. Better shake your booties for black girl nerves.